Good afternoon. Welcome to Proactive London. Ethically sourced, sustainable brands have perhaps never been more important, and the business hoping to bring all that to consumers and give you the widest choice is Zamaz, and their CEO, Chris Hill, joins me now. Good afternoon, Chris. Thanks for your time today.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Chris. Good to meet you.
Already a highly rated Amazon seller, you've just listed directly onto the London market. Firstly, tell us why a direct listing?
Well, a direct listing is basically a very, very simplified direct IPO. An IPO usually means you've got to go and make a lot of rounds, as it were, of calls to investors to get them subscribed to your stock and your listings to enable you to list. There are various other benefits to that. I mean, it's a quicker way of coming to market. It also provides us going forwards with not like any listing, access to a very, very broad reach of retail and institutional investors. And that's in our interests and part of our strategy to do that.
Absolutely, and you must have to go direct, have the confidence within the brand to go forward, which is always very encouraging. You mentioned then your strategy. What is the strategy for growth? Is it what you might call a buy and build as well as organic development of brands?
Well, we have a very strong fundamental business underpinning whether we're listed or not, Zamaz, and that is based on a portfolio of brands that we've built on Amazon, that we have the opportunity to grow and expand across multiple territories and channels. So it's not a buy and build in that sense. We've already got it, and we have a great opportunity to build and expand on it. Going forwards with our listing and with the support of our investors, we have other options, or we intend to have other options, which include acquisitions.
So, Chris, it's interesting. One of those terms that's around and about now is an Amazon aggregator. Do you see Zamaz as an Amazon aggregator?
We see Amazon aggregation, which is a strategy to roll up a portfolio, a number of Amazon seller businesses as a strategy. We are, as I've said before, a established Amazon seller, a highly rated and reviewed Amazon seller. So we have the expertise, we have the operational capability. I think, compared to a lot of Amazon sellers, what distinguishes us is that we manufacture some of our products ourselves. We have our own manufacturing facility and warehousing operation. So in that sense, we're vertically integrated, whereas a lot of other Amazon sellers have sustained a business whereby they are procuring from a factory, say in China, and having that shipped direct to Amazon, drop shipped straight to Amazon. And those businesses will have struggled a little bit during the pandemic and possibly continue to do so, because that's a very long supply chain, and the costs of shipping from China, for example, have been skyrocketing. With our model, where we manufacture in the UK and in Europe, we maintain very, very tight or regional supply chain solution, which gives us a lot more capability and a lot more flexibility to continue to satisfy demand as and where it's needed, pretty much immediately. So aggregation is definitely something that we're considering. We've got the platform, the capabilities, and we're definitely interested in talking to Amazon entrepreneurs, a bit like our own founder, entrepreneur, who was originally an Amazon seller, and finding the right kind of business at the right stage of growth, that we can add value to going forwards.
So, acquisitions as well. What kind of news flow can we expect over the next few months?
Well, I'm not in a position to go into the precise news flow. It's my job to execute our growth strategy and plans. And as I said, we've got a strong legacy, a business that's already well established, um, and that has just been achieved on essentially one platform, and that's Amazon, which is where our capabilities, our core capabilities, and our expertise lies today, and that will continue to be really important to us. We are on Amazon platforms in the UK and across the key European markets. There are 20 Amazon marketplaces globally, and we're only on 10. So there in itself gives us a big opportunity to expand our distribution base, access to our range of products to millions more consumers all over the world on that channel alone. But we are an e-commerce company selling to consumers online, and buying online is a very democratic and very international and cross-border buying experience, and increasingly so. People are buying more and more online more often, of every age, and even with the big boom of online business, of buying online that occurred during the pandemic, e-commerce continues to take a greater and greater share of total retail, and that is a sort of a train that is getting faster. Certainly left the station and it's getting faster, and that's certainly a tailwind that's going to drive us going forward. And as I said, we've built the business so far on Amazon. We're going to use a number of other retail technology platforms, and we're already building our business on a Shopify website. So Amazon, Shopify, Google, and big international global retail technology platforms like that enable us to expand, grow, go to new markets, reach out to new consumers very rapidly and cost effectively.
As you say, yes, Amazon, Shopify, Google, and the like, they are the big players globally. And of course, as you mentioned, that tailwind from the pandemic, but e-commerce then still one of the big drivers, and it can only get bigger even in the current climate. Do you believe that maybe regarding the current economic climate in the UK, that people are still willing to go after deals online and that's their first port of call?
Yes, I do. I mean, the global retail e-commerce market is due to be worth about $7.4 trillion by 2025. And consumers, despite today's challenges with the cost of living and all the usual suspects, are going to continue to buy more online. Their shopping habits may change in the short term, in terms of obviously how much money they have at their discretion and their ability to buy, but they will continue to buy, and that's where our portfolio of brands is well aligned, actually, particularly because we're looking at retail prices and products priced somewhere between sort of £10 and £100. So we're not in the luxury sector, which is getting a tough time as everybody has to tighten their belt. So that's very much part of our strategy. Our brand portfolio strategy is aligning with today's and ongoing consumer purchase habits. And the great thing about these retail technology platforms and our e-commerce channels is the massive amount of data that's available to you real time to see how consumers are responding to your offers, to your pricing positions, and to your product promises, and how you're delivering as an e-commerce company.
Of course, yes, that's one of the things that's more difficult to obtain the figures for on the high street, as it were. But in the world of digital transactions, all this information can be available to you at your fingertips.
That's
So
right.
the listing, then obviously very big news for you. You must be very proud indeed. So going forward, then, in an ideal world, how would you see Zamaz playing out, say, in the next 2 to 3 years? Where would you like the company to be?
Well, we use the word multi a lot in terms of our mission. As I said, we've been very focused on what we've done very, very well and still do on our Amazon setup, and managing that marketplace platform in the most optimal way. And one of our hero brands, one of our core brands, is called Echo Moist, which is an IT screen hygiene solution. That's aligned with some big consumer trends, continuing to buy more devices, whether that be desktop, laptop, but more like mobile. So there's more and more in that particular example, that brand. There's more and more opportunities for us to align with the basically the intrusion of the screen in every part of our life. Whether that's in the kitchen, as the Internet of Things gets more and more prevalent as an idea, but also in terms of practical applications. If you think of today's electric vehicles, they're effectively big screens. So there is an example of a brand that's really well aligned with a key trend globally. But I think, as I said, with our very sort of Amazon-centric strategy in the past, the big opportunity is to be much more multi, which is to expand our distribution and access to our brands and products to a number of channels, which would include, more direct to consumer channels, such as a Shopify website. There are more and more Amazon marketplaces, obviously coming on stream in markets which are traditionally less mature than the UK or the US or Germany, which are the big markets. So there's a lot of inherent growth in Europe right now. International expansion is going to be a key part of our strategy going forward.
Well, it sounds like there's plenty to get your teeth into for the second half of the year, and plenty of scope to capitalize on the success you've already had. So not only using digital markets to bring us your products, but also keeping us hygienic while we're doing it. Sounds like you've got it all sewn up. In the meantime, thanks very much for your time, and we hope to keep us updated on progress there at Zamaz. That's Chris Hill today at Proactive London.
Thank you, Chris.